everyone. Welcome to another episode of Drop Frames here on this. Is this the final Wednesday of Jesus 2020? Hey, thank God 2020 is almost over. We got 2 more months, guys.
Almost there.
Yeah, we're almost there. We're almost there.
How long do you think this 2 more months is going to actually take?
You know, let's not talk. We don't have, we've only got 3 hours, Zeke. I don't know if we could really encapsulate an answer in that question within the allotted time, but yeah, hopefully it goes quick. We'll see. Cody, you know what episode this is?
169.
I'll take it. That sounds good. Sounds
Nice.
good. Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah. Sounds good. We got a lot to talk about. Twitch, DMCA stuff. I know I deleted my VODs. Cody, you deleted your VODs. Zeke, did you delete your VODs? Are we VODless?
Yep.
Oh boy. All right. We're all 3 new streamers. We just started last Friday here on the platform.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, I know you, JP, you're pretty diligent about uploading things to YouTube.
Yeah.
The only things that I was concerned about was the stuff before, I had regular uploads to YouTube and stuff.
Same.
But thankfully, I had someone help me that like an employee, I guess you call him, since I pay him.
Yeah.
To help me do all the VODs and shit. But watching it, like going to my videos and seeing like you have 0 highlights and like 1 past broadcast because you just finished it.
Yep. That's
weird.
We've saved all the shows here, so we have like, every episode of Drop Frames all the way back to like State of the Game, right? But we don't save for the longest time. We didn't do VOD uploads for just like playthroughs or just different things. So like that kind of sucks. There were definitely like streams throughout the 10 years that I'll remember, but won't have VOD footage of. But at the end of the day, like, would I rather have that VOD footage and not have a Twitch channel? No, not really. I think I'd rather.
That's valid.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have a Twitch channel. The other thing too, not that this is more focused on me, but since we didn't have any VODs, there was no reason to have a paywall anymore. So I removed the paywall on the channel for our VODs for the first time in 8 years. And so like I'm curious to see how that goes from like a business decision. Hopefully a year from now, I'm not regretting that decision, but for now it seems fine. Especially today, with a high profile guest, I won't have to answer, when is the VOD going to be uploaded to YouTube 1,000 times. I could just say, go watch it on Twitch. 'Cause you can watch it right now. There's no paywall, which will be nice. But yeah, the VOD stuff, the DMCA stuff, I don't think there's really any other way around it to say that it sucked. It is what it is, but it's not a positive thing, right? Like no one was excited to delete their entire history on the platform. And I think a lot of the statements that I saw on Twitter, while might seem a little bit hyperbolic, like a lot of history of the platform was deleted last Friday or even before then, from like, esports events that don't have, different VODs and everything chronicled on YouTube channels or just general Twitch things that happen for specific streamers across the board. It was not a good situation, but it's a better situation than everyone losing their channel. The other thing too is, and this is a question I have for you guys, do you think it was an overreaction on streamers' part to delete all the VODs?
1 second, I need to address something.
Oh, okay.
No, Mac, your bad behavior is not gone with the VODs. That will be remembered forever. That lives within all of our hearts.
That's true.
So
there you go.
Let's just make that clear.
Okay. Noted.
Okay.
Do you guys think it was an overreaction on our parts as streamers to delete all that stuff?
Not the way that Twitch addressed it. When Twitch introduced so much, we all, especially the longer you've been on Twitch, the more you understand how this DMCA stuff works. You understand not only from the perspective of the DMCAers, but also from Twitch's perspective that their hands are tied. That if this stuff comes through, they are not going to, arguably as they shouldn't, do anything to prevent it from shutting down our channels. Because we are the content creators, they are the service we are on, and that is the extent of our relationship. Even as somebody who is signed with Twitch on a more official level, that is still how this relationship functions.
Yep.
So when Twitch approaches you and they say, look, like, we don't know what's going to happen. Other people are deleting their VODs, and we're not exactly telling them that's not a bad idea. Like, obviously, there was this big kerfluffle with clips and stuff earlier where actual strikes went out. You know, at that point, it's just a responsibility thing. Like I got into it a little bit with a guy.
Real quick, did any actual strikes go out? Or
well,
we
don't know for sure.
Yeah.
If they have, it's been kind of private. One thing that is kind of interesting that happened is there was a well-known guitarist for a group called Dragon Force named Herman Lee, and his channel just got banned.
Yeah.
So I don't, as far as I know, and this may be, he may have talked about this publicly since then, but as far as I know, he hasn't mentioned anything. But a lot of people were like, he played a lot of Dragon Force stuff on his channel, so maybe it's and other music as well. So maybe that was like the first casualty of the DMCA war. But again, we don't know. Like as far as I know, he hasn't said anything publicly about it. So, but no, there was not a clipocalypse like there was a few months ago, where like tons of streamers were reporting that it wasn't like the Friday, and I was worried this was going to happen. Actually, it's not like the Friday time rolled around and the floodgates opened and the DMCA injunctions poured into Twitch or anything like that. So yeah, we're still waiting on that. But going back to what I was saying a second ago, I actually kind of got into it with a guy on Twitter because he was just like, yeah, you know, you should have left your VODs up and fought the system. You should have taken a stand against
I saw
DMCA.
a lot of that. I even see that in chat right now.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't think people understand that there's no stand to take. These are laws.
Yeah.
And if we get hit by this stuff, that's like, you should go murder somebody and take a stand against laws. You know, it's like, no, if you murder somebody, you're going to jail. If you steal something from a store, if you shoplift, you're going to jail. It's just it's a black and white issue. This isn't a take a stand issue. If anything's going to happen, it's going to happen via legislation. It's going to happen via laws changing. If anything, it's going to happen at the Twitch level. But even then, this is a law that Twitch has to follow. So they would just get shut down.
Yeah.
The music industry wouldn't bat an eye. So it's the kind of thing where there is no fighting the man in this instance. And especially if little channels get taken down, or even big channels. They removed one of the top earners from the platform like 3 months ago. Like, obviously Twitch is not gonna, like, you know, fight for channels here when the DMCA stuff comes through. If legal stuff is involved, the first thing Twitch does is take a big step back.
Right. So my understanding.
That's what we know.
I will preface this statement that we're not lawyers, but my understanding with DMCA is if Twitch gets a DMCA strike, they must comply, or else they lose their safe harbor license, and the entirety of the site will get shut down. So Twitch is kind of in the same space as us, where it's like you can remove a partner, you can delete a VOD, or you can lose your channel, you can lose the entire platform. Is the way that I think I understand it. Granted, not a lawyer, so that might be a very simplified understanding of it. But it is what it is ultimately. But yeah, for all the comments like, oh, you know, you guys should unionize and fight it. It's like, no, it's not not necessarily the right time to do that.
The thing that's important to mention is a lot of the DMCA stuff, some of it's not, and that's a big issue. But a lot of the DMCA stuff is like spot on. Like, there are streamers that play pop music to thousands of people. You can't do that. Like, it's just, again, black and white. Like, you can't make money. You can't like sell subs and get tips and stuff while you're using somebody's music you don't have a license to do. That's how it's always been.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff that's happening that people are like, stand up to do that. I mean, at the end of the day, that's you trace that back far enough, and you're basically saying like, yeah, that artist shouldn't get paid for somebody just using their stuff without permission. So I mean, there is legal stuff in here that makes sense. It's kind of at the extreme because there's like faceless giant multi-million-dollar companies that are, you know, doing it for their gain instead of the gain of like the artists themselves.
Yeah.
It's an intermediary that I think makes everyone angry. But the concept is something that needs to be there. It's just like the action, the actual execution is definitely a little heavy-handed.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see what happens.
I was in the same boat of like, do you want to risk your entire career that you've built for many, many years because you don't want to delete VODs, or you don't want to like play music that is safe or whatever? And it didn't seem like a choice. It was just like, well,
got to do it.
Everything's got to go then, you know?
Yeah.
And as sad as it is, I think we were warned about this for years. I remember. Well, maybe I feel the sting or felt the warning a little bit more prevalently, because when I was on Justin TV, the first thing I did was not video games. I tried to do like a Mystery Science Theater type thing, where I would watch bad movies and make, funny comments over them, and I, emulated that. And I played copywritten movies. Like, they're totally full on, like, copywritten. And my channel got banned from JTV.
Yeah.
So, for DMCA. And I realized, like, okay, so they don't even have to do anything. They don't have to warn you. They don't have nothing. They just, like, cut my stream in the middle of my stream and banned me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
how
it goes.
I felt that sting. And then from that point on, like, any hint, like, of music, like DMCA stuff, I stopped playing certain artists. Like, oh, I thought that was safe. Now I will never play that artist again. Like that kind of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. It was funny.
Hell, when I started playing Watch Dogs, I turned off the music.
Yeah. Same here.
I was just like, not risking it. And I was doing a sponsored stream for Watch Dogs. And I looked up in my management and I was just like, hey, what should I do about the music? And my management was like, probably turn it off.
Yep. I did the same as well.
Yeah, probably turn it off.
And it was weird. I was playing Far Cry 5 with my buddy Sarkule show yesterday. And we get into a car and immediately it starts playing, like, I don't remember what. It was just a regular song from like the 80s, like from a band you've all heard. And I was like, how do I turn it off? Turn it, la 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 la. You can't hear it. You can't, la la la.
Yeah.
It sounds like me. Back when I do my Fallout 4 runs, you zone into an area and there's like a radio on somewhere in the area. So there's like this mad dash, like looking around, like, where's the radio? Where's the radio? Where's the radio? Just like being as loud as you can while you're searching for this thing. Oh my Lord.
Scary. Yeah. I was like, I don't need to delete the VODs. I didn't play that much copyrighted music over the years. And then Barry was like looking at them. He looked at the first VOD back in like, I think it was like late February of 2011, maybe, or maybe even 2010. And like, Sting is playing for some reason, the first ever VOD on my channel. It's like, all right, maybe I was an idiot back then and had no idea what I was doing. We should just delete everything. And so, yeah, that's how I settled up on that.
It's interesting. Somebody just said something in chat, kind of like somebody's like, that when you're doing a sponsored stream and turn off the music, you're presenting the game in an area that's not the full experience. And it's like, yeah,
well, even to one up that, a lot of the contracts that occur for influencers when it comes to playing a game is that the VOD must be kept somewhere for either people to go and watch or for the sponsors to go and watch and verify that everything happened. A lot of those VODs were deleted. A lot of those contracts could be said that they were voided on the influencer side of things because the VOD was deleted. You broke contract there. So that's another interesting
make a couple
thing.
Of calls. I'll be right back.
Yeah, like I know there's the past couple of days have been interesting, hearing some different stories from different creators about different things that they did that no longer has a VOD that they have not received payment yet for, and maybe won't receive
and then you
payment
look in
for
their dashboard, and it's like, sorry, you voided this.
Yeah,
so your VOD and it wasn't there.
Little weird. Lot of things that you don't really think about at all until it happens. But yeah, for all
and also now that Twitch has received like an official letter from the music groups, basically saying, like, someone just linked at my chat, they're basically like, dudes, like, you've been doing this for a long time, we're getting tired of it, and we got our eye on you. Like, it's basically saying, like, get ready. So that makes it even more important. Like, that's a big old note to us, being like, yo, you need to do this properly. This is a big deal.
Yeah, I won't spend too long, or we shouldn't spend too long on this, but like the thing that the RIAA and the major industry groups sent is like a little ridiculous. A lot of things that they say in here, there's specifically one statement within the letter or whatever that they sent that says that like influencers were profiting off of the music. And it's like, yeah, that's not necessarily why people don't tune in because I'm playing the latest and greatest Snoop Dogg track. Right? Like, that's not necessarily how that works.
And the only channels that were just like playing radio stuff was basically Monster Cat stuff back in the day. Like there really aren't like just radio channels playing songs.
Yeah. Anyways, Zeke, I think you were gonna say something. Past. It's gone.
It's gone.
Okay. All right.
It's gone.
Sorry about that.
I was gonna say something, and then I got stuck on. I wonder. I can't remember what the RIAA stands for.
Recording
industry. There is one really good point I was seeing in chat.
Yeah.
And honestly, I could especially see someone from outside of Twitch looking at this and going, "That's exactly what we're talking about." Song request tips.
That's true. Yeah.
So those streamers were profiting directly from people wanting to play licensed music on their channels.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
like
might be true.
So yeah, that's actually kind of a big deal.
Yeah, Zeke.
Everybody makes overgeneralizations about like the music you play and that kind of stuff. It's the idea that anything on your stream helps you make money. So if I like take a sip of a Monster, and Monster's like, "Hey, you were getting paid by somebody else while using our product."
Right.
Just like in a movie or a commercial. Like, you know how they turn labels, or they like in video games, they make it like Poopsie, not instead of Pepsi.
Yep.
Like that kind of shit. Like I mean, if you throw such a wide blanket, it's gonna, sound scary to anybody.
Funny enough, when I worked at MLG, one of the roles is a producer that I had when casters would drink water on stream or like on the casting station. They had to remove the wrappers on it for that very reason. And I still remember multiple times, excuse me, when a caster would like take a sip of an Ozarka bottled water or whatever, and the producer would be screaming at me in my ear to get it off the desk. So yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah. And someone just brought up like, and this was a really interesting point that actually set the internet on fire recently when a Google Stadia employee tweeted something similar about games.
Sure.
But somebody just brought up the point, like, it's kind of a dated thing to be licensing songs like that because of the exposure that streamers give these kind of things. And, he specifically said it's the same thing that happened with video games. It's advertising. If a game has that music, then the more the game gets bought, the more attention is brought to that music. And here's the thing, like, in some cases, that's correct. Like, take Among Us. Take Fall Guys. Like, these games were skyrocketed into success from streamers. But the thing is, it's not always like that. And particularly, I think one of the biggest things is it's taking the choice from the person who has the license. So it's one thing if somebody goes like, "Yeah, I'm totally cool with that." Like, yeah, absolutely. It's going to get me more exposure. I'm fine with it. That's great. But if the person's in the opposite mindset, then they're having that choice taken from them. And of course, they're going to be like, "I'm not okay with that because I'm not the one saying that I'm okay with you using exposure as a reason. I don't want to be paid in exposure bucks. Basically, that's not going to pay for my meal. I want money."
Right.
So yeah. It's an interesting situation. Also, it's so hard to tell like which one would be more beneficial. Like it's in some cases it's obvious. Fall Guys and Among Us, like clearly it's super obvious that exposure super outweighed any licensing that would have been done there. But sometimes it's not always the case. Like sometimes it's when a streamer plays like a hit song from a new artist and it's terrible and everyone hates it, then it's like, okay, what if he just prevented sales instead of the people that went out and got it? Now, obviously that's good. People aren't buying a shitty song, but at the same time, the person that made the song is like, I would have made more money if you didn't play that. I put my heart and soul into that.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a weird situation. But I think a lot of it just comes down to choice.
For sure.
Do you think there will ever be a day where like artists or publishing company, because it's I'm of the notion that if you play a song on your stream, sure, it could be said that you're making money off of that song just by playing it.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact I've sold a lot of music to a lot of people just by playing it on my stream. So net gain for the artist. Do you think there will ever be a time where artists and publishers like go, we're going to release this and we don't want it to get flagged for DMCA, like ever.
You mean from
like, you think that'll be an
like a
option
Taylor
for them?
Swift or someone of that stature is what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think the artist would probably say, like, in a lot of cases, they're okay with that. I don't think the suits would ever be okay with that, though. Right? Like, it might get them more exposure in the long run, but the suits, they want the money, right? Like, that's the main goal of a business.
Do you think but that's what I'm saying. Do you think they sell more, or they make more money by selling it to like commercials, or they sell more of their songs by letting people just use it? I mean, we don't know the answer. I'm just saying, like, do you think there'll ever be a date?
I don't know. That's a little bit of a chicken and the egg argument.
Yeah, sure.
It's just hard to track data ways.
Interesting to talk about, though. Like,
yeah.
I mean, that you can trace that premise back to all sorts of interesting discussions about like how it could and should work.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever get to that.
The only thing is, like, despite what we think, despite what we want, like, and this goes back to the start of the discussion, like, we are bound by what is. So, like, it doesn't, all the discussion, all the we could talk into the ground until our faces are red, but at the end of the day, we have archaic DMCA laws that we have to respect until something changes. And unfortunately, there is no force in this world currently that is working hard enough to change them, at least not that I know of, because they haven't changed in years and years and years, and I don't think anything's on the horizon.
Yeah.
So it really kind of sucks, but that's just kind of where we are.
Yep. Yeah. That, and there's a lot of content creators, friends of ours, that didn't delete VODs. So
yeah,
I'm worried, I'll say, but like, it's their decision. If they don't want to delete VODs on their channel, that's up to them, right? Like, if they think they have a clean track record, by all means. I just don't.
Dude, I stopped even using like parts of my soundboard. No more best around.
Oh yeah, I deleted all that.
Hill.
Yeah,
all that stuff's gone now.
Yeah, I changed a lot of that.
If it's not from a game, then I'm not touching it.
And even then, it's still a little scary too. Yeah.
I just started making my own version. So instead of using Nickelback singing "Look at this photograph," it's me singing it badly.
I decided to go a little bit direct with it, and I used to have the toss a coin to the Witcher soundbite as my top, like my tip sound if it's over a certain amount.
Right.
So I was playing Hades a couple nights ago, and he's playing the harp terribly, and at one point he just goes, "This is a sound." Perfect.
There you go.
Now every time, like, it just, this is a sound.
Beautiful.
Oh.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of creators do that with, like, things like OC Remix and different game soundtracks are definitely what people are flocking to. But I've also seen like some of the biggest creators on the platform just straight up play copyrighted music as of like last night. So, it seems it's still the age old scenario where like big thing happens with DMCA, 2 or 3 days pass and everyone's like, all right, cool. Let's go back to playing some more copyrighted music. So we'll see what happens. I think time will be the test there. Hopefully no one gets banned and no one gets DMCA'd for all that shit. But yeah.
The hope is that it's all just a threat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just hope it's a big threat. Before we move on to more news, I mentioned yesterday, at least on my channel, that we'd announce another guest that we have lined up. So sometime before the Game Awards, which is December 10th, Jeff Keighley has agreed to come and join us and chat about co-streaming and just what he's been up to in the industry. So
wait a minute. The Game Awards are on December 10th?
Yes. Same day
just
as
Cyberpunk. Like Cyberpunk?
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
He also stated Cyberpunk, I don't think, is eligible for the Game Awards this year.
Which makes complete sense.
Makes sense, yeah.
I would certainly hope
no one who's going to be voting is going to have played it. So
yeah,
it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll hopefully have him on and announce when we're going to have him on properly in the next couple of weeks. So look forward to that. Anyways, we mentioned Cyberpunk. Let's go that direction for the news. Cyberpunk was delayed again yesterday. I'm
really sorry about that.
Oh, are you taking the blame for it? I was going to take the blame for it as well. Why are you taking the blame for it?
Well, CDPR called me a few days ago.
Yeah.
And they noticed that my Witcher playthrough wasn't quite as far along as they were hoping. So
Okay.
I just started Heart of Stone, and I asked, like, is there any chance I could get like 2 weeks? And they said, well, would 3 work? How's December 10th sound? And I said, well, yeah, I could make that work. And about 15 minutes later is when the announcement went out.
Okay. All right. Well,
making those money moves.
Right note. I mean, silver lining, we get to finish Blood and Wine fully now, which is great.
It's good. That's good. They moved it the first time because of my wedding. I'll let you take the fourth time because of your Witcher playthrough. So it makes sense. It makes sense.
I want to say they moved it because of me, because I would still be playing Like a Dragon while everybody else was playing Cyberpunk, and that was just fine by me. That was totally fine by me. Yeah. I was good with that.
They're trying to get the entire.
Now everybody's going to be playing Like a Dragon longer, and I'm going to be fucking shuffled to the back like a
dude. Real talk. I talk about like a flood of emotions. At first, I was like, oh god, I'm getting trolled hardcore. Then I was like, oh god, CDPR is trolling us. This is ridiculous. Then I read it and was like, oh god, this is real. And I was like, wait, now I can play Yakuza. Like it was just like this roller coaster of emotion. Yeah, it was crazy. So like right now, I'm actually like not horribly disappointed about this.
I don't think
like
any
now we can
streamer
play Yakuza early. You can probably check out freaking the horde of other games coming out, like Medium's coming out around then, Empire of Sin, we've got Demon Souls, we've got like there's tons of great games coming out around then. So yeah, I mean, cool. We'll have plenty of time. Yeah, the only thing that sucks is for PoE streamers. That is super unfortunate.
And also, World of Warcraft is also supposed to launch their expansion around there, but I don't.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah, that comes out on the 12th or whatever. But yeah, there's so many games around there that it was just like, we made a joke in my like the calendar for the stream. That week was just so stacked from like the 10th to the 19th was just one of the most absurd weeks I can think of in terms of game releases. Yeah. And so I made a joke like, please delay again was in the notes section of Cyberpunk. And that was on Sunday. And someone in the chat said like, hey, remove that. Get that out of there. We don't want to delay it again. It's like, there's no way. And I deleted it. Sure enough, it got delayed. So
it's interesting because one of the questions I've been getting a lot is like, do you think they'll delay it again? And my response to them has been like, here's the thing. I love CDPR. I do. They're my baby. But at this point, it's like a fool me once situation.
Yeah.
Like, they have delayed it so many times. Like, do I think I'll be playing the game on December 10th? I'd love to think so.
Yeah, you're right. But
at the same time, it's clear that the decision's being made in that regard. Like, I mean, you read like the letter that they announced for the December 10th thing. They could use that exact same letter on December 10th.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a whole bunch of amorphous, like, hey, we got a bunch of stuff we're working on. We want to make the game as good as we can. Like, that exact letter could be used December 10th. For another 3 week to a month delay. But like I was saying, like, I think folks are less angry about the fact that we're getting Cyberpunk later and more angry because they feel like their time is being mishandled. They feel like they're being lied to. Like, I almost really wish, and I talked about this a lot on stream, I really wish, I know this isn't really feasible when you have a game the size of Cyberpunk and you have retailers and everything, but I kind of wish they would just be like, look, we're not going to give you a date. And when we're ready to release it, when we know for absolute certain, we'll let you know. Like, we are just going to put it in coming soon. And then when we're absolutely sure, like when we duct tape the boxes with the console games in them,
I think that's already done.
Out when it's coming out. No, that's the thing. According to the letter, like, they're still working on stuff. They've got 9 platforms they're working on. Like, there's a bunch of, and they said COVID, like all sorts of stuff. But
yeah, well, I think
I think people are more burned by the fact that they feel like they're getting hoodwinked with these release dates, and so much less about the fact that the game's actually taking a long time. Okay, but that's the thing. It has gone gold, but that doesn't mean that they have everything printed and shipped and ready to like go out the door. I think that's primarily what they were doing. Like,
I think it like
gone gold means that you have the code.
Image was burned to disk
for the final versions,
but they're working on day 0 patch.
But then putting them on the hundreds of thousands of media and getting those organized and getting them ready to ship and getting all their boxes and stuff ready, like that, the logistics behind it all, I believe is what they're kind of like quasi claiming is what's going to keep longer. But who knows, man? I mean,
I don't think that's wrong, or I don't think that's right, but it doesn't matter really. It's semantics at this point. It's basically me proving you wrong or you proving me wrong, so it doesn't matter at the end of the day. But yeah, you're right. Like, they got to finish everything. That's the bottom line.
I mean, I'm still excited, man. I don't care. And if we're playing it in February 25th of 2021, cool. I mean, whatever. You only get one chance at a release. I'd much rather it be good. than have some rushed out the door, main quest broken, shit's crashing. Like,
God.
do what you got to do, man. Do what you got to do.
Speaking of that, random tangent.
Did you other stuff we can do?
Did you see what happened to Watch Dogs today, or what they came out and said about the Xbox Series X version is just like not playable after a certain point because I think it like makes the Series X overheat and shut down during some quest or something like that.
During the mission 404.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the Xbox One X, not Series X. Okay. There you go. Thank you for the clarification.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's what they don't want.
I put a poll in my chat. Do you think Cyberpunk will actually release on December 10th? And 69% said no.
Nice.
Yeah.
For the record, though, if you're voting yes, you are delusional. I love CDPR, but I mean, this is definitely a situation where it's like, just look at the history. Like, just make your bed. Don't get your expectations up.
Yeah.
I hate saying it. Trust me, I hate saying it, but don't get your expectations up for December 10th. Something else may happen. Something else will probably happen. But, just stay excited and be ready to play it when it gets here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bizarre thing.
Here we go. The biggest challenge for us right now is shipping the game on current gen, next gen, and PC at the same time, which requires us to prepare and test 9 versions. It's all sorts of stuff while working from home. So I think that's where I got that. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, they also
said, it might seem unrealistic when some say 21 days can make a difference in such a massive, complex game, but they really do.
They also said
some of you might also
call.
Go ahead.
They said an investors call that like it's good to go on PC and next gen platforms, but they're working on current gen right now. That's what's delayed.
They're still trying to compress everything for Stadia.
I mean, it might be a real deal. You never know.
Oh,
you never know. Yeah, it's a crazy thing. Never expected to see that. I do think that like that game has reached a boiling point or something when it comes to like the conversation around it, because there's so many different things before the game's even playable. There's just so much conversation about it of like the delays, if the devs are being crunched, the devs are still being crunched, and all of that stuff. And so at the end of the day, I just hope that game does come out one day, and so we can actually see what it is. That's what I'm looking for.
One day,
just one day.
So, yeah. Out of curiosity, you guys know offhand what the original release date, the very first one we got, was?
It was
earlier this year.
Yeah, it was September.
Yeah,
I think no. It was April. It was the wedding. April. It was April. Yeah, April 14th. 16th. It was right before the wedding. Yeah, and it's been delayed 4 times.
That's like you clean the first floor of a mansion and go, all right, we should be done cleaning this. Hey, sir, there's an upstairs. Fuck.
Yeah.
All right. Never mind. We're not going to be done. Who didn't tell me that?
Yeah.
3 times. Yeah, 3 times.
Or I guess 3 delays. Yeah. 4 different dates. Right. That makes sense.
Still, I mean, it's pretty like 6+ months of delay for something that they've been working on for that long. That is a lot, man.
I mean, you toss in COVID and like makes a lot of sense.
True.
Right.
True.
Yeah, they're not in a studio. Well, are they back in studio, or are they all still working from home? It's a little bit different situation in Europe than it is.
They specifically said they're working from home.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of a difference.
While working from home is a quote from the announcement. So they're still remote.
Gotcha. What else was there news? At least this morning, like an hour before we went live, AMD had their GPU announcement. We're not the tech people here. I did ask Power GPU, who we've had on the show in the past, and his back of the stream quote, whatever, is that it's an amazing deal, especially the 6900 XT. So I think the 6900 XT is the 3090 NVIDIA equivalent, and it is about $500 cheaper. I think it's coming in at $999. I think the other thing too is that all of the benchmarks provided were AMD benchmarks, so probably going to wait till that stuff actually gets in reviewers and consumers' hands and actually see the benchmarks there. But yeah, it seems like it's going to be competitive at the end of the day, which is good.
There's absolutely no possible way they didn't know what they were doing with the 6900.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Like the marketing team knew, right?
I swear to God, they're going to come out with their first ads, and it's just going to be a picture of the card, and then underword it's going to be a black background, and at the bottom in just like Times New Roman, nice. Period.
They had to have known.
If they did that, I would buy one immediately.
Yeah, there's no way they didn't. 100%.
Or not nice times 100.
Oh Lord.
Ours is 100 times nicer than
like,
the 3080.
There you go.
If these things are right, like if these stats are right on that, it's going to be such an interesting thing that happens, because so the 3090 comes out. Everyone gets super hyped about it. It sells out everywhere.
Yeah.
You just can't get them. So there's literally thousands and thousands of people around the world that want to spend money on this card and they can't. And then all of a sudden here comes AMD and they're like, we got the same thing but cheaper. It's like that is a beautiful position for AMD to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if they can keep up with demand.
That's the big thing, right? Like if they can keep up with demand, then just by the
if they actually are able to do that, that's going to be pretty wild. They're going to make some serious bank.
Just by sheer interest, then there would be more AMD consoles, AMD PCs out there than NVIDIA ones, because 3080s and 3090s are still fucking hard to get. They are still constantly sold out immediately whenever
I check every couple days.
Sale. Yeah.
I haven't seen any place in stock for 3090s for a huge amount of time now.
Yeah, it's rough for sure. I don't know if there's any other really big news for us to cover, so we could probably jump into games, unless you guys have something or your chat saying something in the world of news. Handful of articles. I guess the PS5 stuff came out yesterday. The embargo was lifted on that, so a lot of people are giving their impressions on it. Apparently that controller is a big deal. That's the biggest thing I saw of so many different people that have it, is that controller, the DualShock 5, is like a big step forward.
Good to hear.
Yeah, Skill Up was, I think the quote that I saw that I don't know if it's hyperbolic, but it was a quote that struck me. Skill Up was saying that there's 2 next-gen consoles coming out, but there's only 1 next-gen controller coming out in 2 weeks. And that's a pretty bold thing. I think also Giant Bomb had Jeff Gerstmann, their kind of like head of the site, who generally is pretty even keel when it comes to stuff. He was very excited about the controller as well. So seems like it's going to be a big deal for sure. We'll see how that goes. I guess there was some news this morning about the director for Halo Infinite left. I haven't seen that story, so I don't know the full details on that. And it might be something that's still like getting all of the story, but what is this? Jason Schreier saying, Bloomberg scoop, Halo Infinite director and longtime 343 executive Chris Lee has left the project. This is the second Halo Infinite director to depart in 2 years, and another sign of the game's turbulent development. So that's a shame. Obviously, Halo Infinite's a big thing for Xbox, and something that they probably use as a flagship for that platform. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm sure some more news will come out from it over the next couple of days. We might be able to ask someone about that later today. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's talk about games. Co, I know you were playing something that I have not played. I think you played and beat it yesterday. That was like the Genji simulator. What's the name of that game? Ghost Runner. Yeah. How's Ghost Runner?
It was fun. It was like, a lot of times I'll play a game and I'm like, oh, that was okay. I feel like Ghost Runner was like a little bit more than okay. Clocked in just over 5 hours. It's a very interesting game. It's a one-hit kill game. So you get hit a single time and you are gone. You are dead. It's very fast paced. The controls are relatively crisp. The world that you go through, very cyberpunk, very cool, like lots of neon colors and stuff. The levels are kind of fun. The enemies are interesting. It has like a little skill system in there. The music was great. Very driving themes. All EDM, kind of like heavy synth work and stuff. And the main story was pretty entertaining as well. Loved the character design and stuff. But yeah, it was a fun game. I finished it and I was like, this is pretty good. It didn't overstay its welcome. I would have liked to play it a little bit longer. I think like I was having enough fun that I definitely could have gone like 7 to 8 hours, but at the same time, I don't know if the story could have supported 7 to 8 hours. Like it was pretty basic at the end of the day, but it was still enjoyable, and I definitely had a good time with it.
I was looking for your VODs. Are you just deleting all VODs now and putting them on YouTube?
All gone.
Okay. Because yeah,
unfortunately, for those about YouTube. So the guy that makes the music is named Daniel Deluxe, and like I said, I love the music. But problem is that he tweeted out like, "Hey, if you're streaming or putting this on YouTube and you're having any issues, let me know and we'll take care of it." Well, we put all of our stuff on YouTube and deleted the VODs, thinking that would be fine, and then got hit with like 20 plus claims from Daniel Deluxe's company. So
I had to stop
apparently, like
I had a good selection of his tracks, and I had to stop playing them, unfortunately.
Yeah, the first one he actually got removed. Like Red Eye Monster, my YouTube guy, was like, "Yeah, this is looking good." Like the first claim disappeared, but unfortunately, we're still waiting on all the other ones. So until we get everything cleared, everything is private right now. But we're hoping, if Mr. Deluxe stays true with what he's saying on Twitter, we're hoping that eventually it will get all out there.
Gotcha. I don't know if this is a result of. Oh, I think that was just a result of me loading. I was gonna say that they even pulled like they DMCA'd the Steam trailers with the music in it, but that was just a case of it not loading. I was trying to find actual gameplay of it so people could see what it's like. Would you call this a first person? What was that game that came out? That
Mirror's Edge.
Oh, okay. I was trying to think of the indie game that was only boss battles with good music.
Oh, you mean
Fury?
Fury.
Yeah, is this a first person Fury?
No. There are bosses, but it is not bosses. It is mostly a running game. So similar to Mirror's Edge, where you're given like walls to run on, you're given like you enter a big room and there's platforms and places you can use a grappling hook, and you have to kind of like puzzle out, okay, how am I going to get up there by running on that wall, jumping over there, hitting that button, stuff like that. So it is primarily Mirror's Edge with a cyber sword. There's also some really cool slowdown mechanics. You get some powers as well. Yeah, but it's primarily like it's not a walking simulator, it's a running simulator.
Interesting. Okay.
The sword.
What? There is a sword ninja cyber game that's in VR, but it's not this one. Is that accurate? Do you know what I'm talking about? Or is it this one?
I think I remember what you're talking about. Didn't we see that in like one of the shows?
I think that was in like the Xbox show, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's not this one. I remember specifically in that one there was an outdoor environment. The whole premise in this one is that you're in a giant like megalithic skyscraper building. So there was no outdoor environments.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something different. No, it's not Fruit Ninja. Thank you. Bright Memory, someone's saying maybe, or Sorrento. Thank you, chat.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I guess this. It seems like this necessarily wouldn't be the best VR game with how.
I don't think it's fair to call that game a running simulator. Well, no, it's more of like a first person ninja platformer almost that has a whole lot of like, it's super fast, tons of wall running, grappling hooks all over the place, sliding through, like you'll get up to a big ramp and slide down, and you have to like slide into the first obstacle, jump over the next one, slide over that one, jump up, run off 3 walls, grappling hook to the next area. So it's kind of it's like a obstacle course in a lot of ways. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's a genre name about it. But it's very Mirror's Edge. If you want to know, like if you want a game to compare it to, it's Mirror's Edge.
Gotcha.
With more speed, more cyberpunk, and more violence. A lot more violence.
Gotcha. God,
parkour game? Yeah, maybe. A parkour game would be an interesting way to say it. Yeah.
I'm realizing the significance of the fact that before last Friday we don't have VODs. I was gonna look at Zeke's VODs and all we have is Leisure Shoot Larry. So there's no more indie stuff from weeks past. Fuck.
Yep, that's all gone. That's all gone, homie.
Yeah.
Well, dude, especially in like, are you gonna start putting this stuff on YouTube or something, Zeke?
Oh yeah. No, the plan is to leave the VODs up for a week and then upload them all to YouTube and delete them.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, Zeke, you finished, I assume, by the fact that you played some more Far Cry 5 yesterday. You finished the Leisure Leisure Suit Larry. Wow, that's hard to say for some reason.
Yeah,
title?
I did.
Okay. We talked a little bit
So
about it last week. But I
can't
have
find
VODs
any
of it.
VODs on that?
No, we have
On
VODs of
Leisure?
it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I played and finished Leisure Suit Larry. Wet Dreams Dry Twice is the name. They're going for the James Bond-ish like parody titles now. Because the first one, the first newer one was Leisure Suit Larry, Wet Dreams Don't Dry. And then this one is Wet Dreams Dry Twice.
Doesn't even make sense.
And it's Leisure Suit Larry. It's point and click, updated graphics and all that stuff. I will say that this one started off by being very much leisure. Oh, fuck,
now you
right.
can't say it.
It started off very much being a Larry.
Oh my
game.
God, I love what you're wearing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's got the jacket on.
Dude,
God,
I wore. I had a white suit coat, and I just found a couple of shirts underneath it while I was playing. Beautiful. And a lot of people came in and commented how dapper I looked.
Yeah.
Anyway, it starts off very much like any other Larry game. You're trying to get laid. It's you're actually looking for your the love of your life, Faith, and she has crash landed on this island. And you come to this island and you're trying to find out what happened to her, where she went, and stuff like that. And along the way, you meet other buxom, hot-looking females that you want to bone on your way to finding her, and you get to, which is kind of a departure from the other Leisure Suit Larry games, because he was always the lovable loser who never got what he wanted. He never he would try with his bad jokes and his puns and just really juvenile humor and all that kind of stuff. He reminds me of a lot of Michael Scott from The Office, where he's like, that's what she said. There's a lot of that's what she said stuff in this game, and it's unapologetic about it, which I absolutely love. There's some sexism. I wouldn't say misogyny, but it's like a Porky's movie, like that's a way old reference, but like sexploitation, meaning you go into it knowing that there's gonna be boobs and balls and dicks and all this kind of stuff in the game. In the sculptures in the background, you'll see a palm tree that looks like a penis and stuff like that. So there's lots of that. So it's forgiven because they don't try and be subversive about it. It is in your face the whole game.
Sure.
But it starts off like a regular game, and then it gets surprisingly point and clicky, puzzly. There's a section in the game where I actually got stuck and kind of a little frustrated because I swear to God, and I will die on this hill if you watch me play it, that the translation, because this was made not by the original company who made the old Larry games. It's by a German developer.
Oh.
And the
Weird.
translation of the clue to one of the things is very fucking confusing. The way it's worded. And so I got a little stuck because it seemed like the clue was contradicting itself and yada, yada, yada. But it was a satisfying puzzle game, in parts that I did not expect, for a Larry game. All the humor is there. It's got a surprising amount of content. I think it took me, let me see. Yeah, it took me 23 hours.
You spent some time with it, for sure.
Granted, it's me. And I take a lot of time and I bullshit and I make jokes and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So I'm guessing it's probably 12 to 15 for a normal person playthrough. But it had a lot of content, great voice. Every line is voice acted, which makes it, really easy to stream and stuff. I will say that one of the really cool parts is someone from Assemble Entertainment, one of the devs, came in and hung out with us for a couple of hours and just chatted and bullshit. And I might be getting a Leisure Suit Larry robe. But I mean,
oh my God,
I would watch Zeke. I would watch that first for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
you think I'm gonna
yeah.
let Bearskin touch something like that without giving it a good cleanse. But yeah, it's fun. The only drawback for me, well, not for me, but the only drawback generally of the game is it's on the spendy side. It's the normal price tag not being on sale is $34.99. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because for most indie titles, I'm used to a price tag of 20 or below is usually like the price tag for an indie title. So having something that's $15 more than that is always something like I think it's worth mentioning. I'm not saying it's not worth it. It was definitely worth it for me. I loved it. I had a blast playing it. But it is on sale for 30% off until November 6th right now, so for $24.49. So that's just worth mentioning. I had a blast with the game. I think it's I was kind of worried when it was being released. Like, I didn't know if they rushed it out or they just wanted to capitalize on the last game, because the last game did okay, but it's a solid game all the way through. It doesn't feel like any part of it was rushed or not polished or anything like that. If you go on Steam, you might see mixed reviews because when it released, the Russian translation of the game was fucked. Apparently, was like it made the game unplayable. So like the first day, it had mixed reviews because half of the reviews were from Russian people being very pissed off. Understandably so.
Sure. Is it voice acted? I see a lot of dialogue in this particular situation. Is that voice acted or is
all the way through? Yep.
Nice.
Nice. Very
Every
nice.
single line.
Very nice.
Absolutely voice acted. All the jokes are exactly very much in the spirit and voice of Larry. There are a couple of departures from other stuff. Like in previous games, Larry always introduced himself the same way. Larry, Larry Laffer. There are times when he doesn't do that. And for someone who's played a few of these games, you notice that shit. You're like, all right, I'll forgive it, but like, let's not change it too much. You know, there's little things like that. But other than that, it's a fuck. If you like the other games, you'll love this game too.
Cool. Awesome. Is it only on Steam? Do you know if it's on any other platforms?
That's a good question. I will look right now.
Okay. While you're looking that up, what else? Oh, we can talk Watch Dogs. Cole, I'm curious if, well, first I'll tell you a story and then I'll ask if you had this issue or if this is just a me issue. So when can we play that?
People are saying Steam and GOG.
Tomorrow.
Gotcha.
Actually, I think you can play it today.
I think you can play it today. But we played it on Monday, right? Yeah, Monday. I did a sponsor stream on Monday for it. I think you did a sponsor stream for a different sponsor on Monday as well. And so I got the key like last week. I booted it up. It played fine around the benchmark. Make sure everything worked. It was fine. I get an email on Sunday saying like, hey, there's something happening. You might need to re-download it or something like that. Whatever. So I got to re-download it, and I this is on Monday morning. Got to re-download it before the stream. Hit start, doesn't start. So I'm like, oh God, there's an issue here. Like something's wrong. So I messaged the sponsor and said like, hey, I'm having some issues. It won't start. I'm not sure what to do. And they're like, oh, did you do XYZ? Yep, did XYZ. Did you try doing ABC? Yep, did that. 4 hours go by. We're an hour into the allotted sponsor time while I'm on air. Also, at the same time, juggling the fact that Phil Spencer is going to come on the show today in text. So this was all happening in tandem with one another. It was a busy Monday. Turns out, after 4 hours of troubleshooting, I was downloading Watch Dogs 1. Because it says when you get the gold version of Watch Dogs Legion, you get Watch Dogs 1 as well. And it says Watch Dogs 1, like, coming soon. And I kept trying to download that, and it wouldn't load or anything. And sure enough, 4 hours later, the guy goes, are you sure that you're not downloading the wrong game? There we go.
Oh, my God, JP.
I felt so bad. I felt so bad.
From an IT perspective, he basically just went, is the computer plugged in?
Dude,
have you attempted to power on the machine? Is that why the monitor is black?
Here's the thing. Why wouldn't I be able to download Watch Dogs 1 on PC. Like that should boot. So the fact that it wasn't booting and it was coming soon was
Do you
like,
remember the
right
text
game.
I sent you about Watch Dogs?
Yes. Yeah. Was that same thing?
Yeah. Well, it's like, so does your copy of Watch Dogs work? Yeah. So I the night before I downloaded the game and it took a long ass time and it was it's like 50 gigs. And I started up and it's like, you don't have the proper language packs. And I was like,
oh, that's
proper language packs. So I'm going back and forth with the guy and trying to figure out what's going on, and nothing's working right and everything's broken, and I reinstall this and try this, and you sure you're on the right version. Well, okay, delete your download cache, all this. And finally they were just like, okay, just give me another key. They give me another key, install it, perfect. And I was just like, how does this even happen? Literally just another key fixed the issue. I've never seen that happen before. It even took, which was even stranger. That never happens either. It just overwrote what was there. And then when I went to install the second time, it's like, oh, would you like to play the game in English? I was like,
yeah,
yes.
Funny enough, they gave me
okay, cool, great, awesome.
They gave me 4 new keys, thinking that it might be that same bug, but nope. It was just downloading Watch Dogs 1. What's the whole
anyway?
Issue?
After our install woes,
I just
so stupid. I felt so bad. I sent the guys a bottle of liquor afterwards because I felt horrible. I was like, dude, I wasted 4 hours of your time and you were purely stressed because of my dumbass. Let me send you a bottle of something. Go ahead, Zeke.
After you realized what happened, I just saw a thought bubble with that old Chappelle as Rick James, and it's me just going,
yeah,
you're with me now. This is my world.
Yeah, man,
this is how I do things.
It was very upsetting. Yeah. Anyways, Watch Dogs 2. Me and Co spent I think 2 hours with it each. Sorry, yeah, that's the other thing. I keep calling it the wrong game every single time because it's no longer numerical. And I was trying to download Watch Dogs 1 the entire time. Watch Dogs Legion. It's not even Watch Dogs 3. It's just Legion. Jesus Christ. Co, what'd you think? I have footage still on my channel, so I'll play those VODs.
How about this? You tell your stuff first, because I actually really want to hear this.
Okay. Well, I guess we should probably start out with the this is also not Leisure Suit Larry. We should start out with the comment was I a big Watch Dogs 1 and 2 fan? Not necessarily. I think I probably spent more time in Watch Dogs 1 multiplayer back in the day than I did the actual game. And Watch Dogs 2 was fine. I felt it was a little bit I don't want to go as far as to say cringy from a story perspective, but there was a lot of wokeness in that game.
I like to say it wasn't our demographic.
Let's go with that.
Target audience.
Yeah. So I necessarily didn't play it that long. For me with this game, I was most excited going into it from the tech in the game. It's very RTX. RTX is very relevant in the game. It's kind of everywhere. You can see right here in this footage. It's the car has RTX. The puddles have RTX. The windows have RTX. It's in some cases a little bit too reflective. Sometimes there necessarily wouldn't be that much reflection in real life, but it is a good looking game. And also from a tech perspective, I was running DLSS 2.0, which is AI sampling. I don't know if it's super or sub sampling. That's where my knowledge starts to wane a little bit, but that's why I'm most interested in this game is the tech side of things. But I had a pretty good time. I will say that streaming this game for a sponsored stream, as well as having all of those issues with just downloading the wrong game, I'll be restarting the game later today or tomorrow whenever I do my playthrough, because I don't remember half the shit that happened. I remember the opening of the game, and then you get to kind of choose a starting character, which is one of the big things in the game, that you can basically, I guess, walk up to any human that you see on the screen and recruit them. And that could be literally anyone. I mean, they have old people, young people, hip people.
Yes, it can.
Moms. dads, everyone. And I know that we were talking before the show, so I can kind of lead into this. I played I think I was like a middle-aged woman who was very rich, and her boon, or whatever you want to call it, her trait was that I got this car that I'm driving for free, which is like some super nice sports car. The funny part about that is that the game has auto driving. It doesn't go very fast when you're in auto drive. And so that's what I did for the entirety of the 2-hour portion of the stream, was just auto drive everywhere to see how the AI handled it. It never went faster than this. And it generally did a pretty good job of like driving itself to the place. I'll probably use this function a lot throughout the game. I think it's pretty cool. It observes proper turns and proper lights, which was cool to see in a game like that. I also got stuck in traffic for like 15 minutes because the car that I got out of to get in this car was blocking the traffic, and no one would get in and move it. So I was just stuck for a little while. But yeah, it doesn't seem, at least in the first 2 hours, I wasn't, the 2 hours that I played, I wasn't really able to like grasp the story of this apart from the intro scene. It seems like they're going for, I don't want to say like memey style of story, but it doesn't seem as like hyper serious as some other titles that you can definitely get into. It doesn't seem as hyper serious as maybe 2 from the time that I played with that. But yeah, I want to jump back into it. I want to see, there's a lot of different things that I didn't unlock when it comes to like hacking. I had a bunch of people code tell me that you were hacking different drones and like using those to fly. Never even saw that. I alternatively was hacking boats and making them drive erratically, which was really fun. Because you can just make them like speed up and slam into other boats, and that was pretty cool. But yeah, I want to see I want to see more gameplay of it. You have to do like a recruit mission every time you go up and recruit someone. And I did one of those, and I should probably do a couple more main story quests before I do, because it was asking me, it was clearly introducing me to things that I didn't know how to actually deal with when it came to the game mechanics. So I was just brute forcing my way through like security checkpoints that I'm supposed to hack, or power lines that I'm supposed to follow and like swap so they connect, and you can open different doors and get into that stuff and download all that stuff. I kind of had to learn that stuff in mission rather than through tutorial. The combat's a little bit, what's the word that I would describe it? Light is maybe how I would describe it. It seems like when you punch someone, it doesn't have that punch to it, essentially. It just seems a little bit light, is what I would say. And the shooting, at least with this person, which, again, I think it's a middle-aged woman, I think other people might have better skills when shooting, because I had like a taser. Didn't work that well. I had to do like 4 headshots to kill someone. So I will definitely try recruiting. Like, I think you can recruit actual hitmen, or John Wicks if their trailers are to go anything, or to go buy anything. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm interested. I want to play more. I'm not sure if I'll do a full playthrough. I'm also not sure how long the game is. I know the review embargo lifted this morning, but I didn't get a chance to read to see how long the actual game is. But yeah, those are my thoughts on it. Co, what are your thoughts?
So I had a pretty dramatically different experience. First of all, to get the stuff out of the way, it was beautiful. I thought the game was pretty beautiful. Lot of good stuff in regards to that. The thing that was a little bit weird for me, first of all, when you picked your character, I jokingly was like, "Oh, this guy has a motorcycle. Like, I'll pick him." What I didn't anticipate is that what they would do is they would distill down every feature and design decision that Co-Carnage disagreed or hated from Watch Dogs 2 and actually install every one of those into a single character in Watchdog Legion, and then trick me into picking him. This guy was like from the words he said to the way he said it to his just like at one point, he's like, hey, do you want to help out London? And the guy's like, oh, you're dead sick, right? That's cool. And my guy's just like, oh yeah, go democracy or whatever. And it's just like, go democracy or whatever. He was just like everything about this person I fundamentally hated on a personal level. And it really kind of like it made me have a very hard time taking like any of the beginning stuff seriously.
Yeah.
I kind of did a lot of main missions. And some of them were pretty standard open world fare, like go here, hack this, get a little thing. But like literally every time this guy talked, I was just like, which definitely had some issues. Now there were also some bugs and stuff. Now here's and before I don't really just want to like rip on this game entirely, but I will say this. One of the things I was really interested about this game was to see how they were going to handle this kind of living environment where everybody can be recruited. And my thinking was like, okay, this could be really interesting. This could be really cool. I wonder how they're going to pull this off and make it actually be engaging and interesting. And again, not to be rude, but I feel like they failed on that miserably.
Really?
So basically what happens is you're a random person, right? You walk up to somebody and you make a comment like, hey, do you want to help London? So the person, now keep in mind, like according to the story, not really any spoilers, but according to the story, you're like the one member of this organization that's like basically a guerrilla organization that people are trying to kill. The next line out of their mouth is, oh, you must be DedSec. That's so cool. I've been looking for you. And it's like, okay. And then at that point, you're like, yeah, do you want to join us? And then here's where it gets weird. Every single person you talk to has this like deep, dark secret / story that they need your help with. So like one person was like this dude that looked like he just walked out of an Apple store. And he was like, yeah, so I was running guns with my buddies for the resistance team the other week, and I need help busting them out of jail. Or, just, and like another guy was like, yeah, my mate's dying and I need to get a medicine. And like every single person had a story that just seemed like a general container quest. And literally I talked to like 7 people in a row. Like I just stood on the corner of a street and I just talked to people. Every single person I talked to, hey, you want to help London? Oh, cool, you're DedSec, awesome. And then they would just launch into their personal quest. And I immediately was like, this feels like the most basic way you could do this possible. Like zero thought, like no nuance, like just container quest with random pickup quest. Like it was so generic. It was so just like uninspired. And by the time I talked to the 7th person, I was just like, man, like, I don't know, guys. Like I had to stop doing it because it was just making me be like, this is not what I was expecting at all. Like I thought at least they'd have a little conversation. At least there'd be some interesting thing. But literally every person you talk to, hey, want to help London? Oh, cool, you're DedSec. And it's just like, launch into generic quests to get you on our team 01. Which was again really unfortunate because basically that just means that every person is just a walking random container of a quest out of a big log and one welcome thing and a random voice and a random thing. And it's just like I was really hoping for more. When they explained the system, I thought it was going to be something really like interesting and intuitive. I wasn't expecting just like literally the most basic possible system of this type.
Sure.
So that was kind of a big letdown. I'm not gonna lie. That was a pretty big letdown. Now here's the thing. There were parts of the game that I had fun in. The gunplay seems very not relaxed.
I said light.
Forgiving.
Okay,
it feels forgiving.
That's a good
one. Like I certainly at times felt like the game was giving me better shots than I was taking. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Maybe it's just for controllers. But I will say like the gunplay and stuff was pretty easy. It does have this weird mechanic where you just do significantly less damage if you're far away, which was a little bit odd. It's kind of like
we're using a pistol.
Maybe it's like was using the stun gun thing. So like maybe there's some, maybe they slow down like really quick or have a fall off or something. I don't know. But I the combat was kind of cool. Like some of the gadgets were kind of cool. But more importantly, like and to kind of bring this full circle, the guy I picked was just terrible. Like I really didn't like it.
You just hated him as a character.
I just really didn't like it. And so one of the things that I think I'm going to do is I've heard enough good things from people like you. I know Dan's Gaming had a good time. So tomorrow morning this is the dude. Oh my God. So tomorrow morning, what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart. I'm going to go from the very beginning and I'm going to make Team Geriatric.
That was my goal.
Now I'm going to try to find like the oldest, like most regular looking dudes I possibly can and like avoid all the young kid peoples, you know, and just see if I can like more tailor the experience to what I'm looking for. Because I will say this to the game's credit. If it turns out that by picking a lot of like older individuals that you can tailor a more Watch Dogs 1 experience than Watch Dogs 2, that'll be kind of awesome.
What do you mean
by
the
idea that Watch Dogs 1 was a lot more kind of like, now none of them are realistic, but it was a lot more muted. It was a lot more just kind of like regular, where Watch Dogs 2 was like super try hard in your face comedy. Like they wanted so much to relate to you. I got such a like, hello fellow children's feeling from Watch Dogs 2. I just didn't really get in Watch Dogs 1. So I'm wondering if like this game is to the point where you can kind of like pick and choose the lens in which you kind of view the game. And if they actually pull that off, if I play this tomorrow and by the end of my 4-hour morning block, I'm like, okay, like I like these characters better. This is a more interesting experience for me. I got to say, I'm going to be pretty impressed with it as a whole. Because that's an interesting concept of being able to kind of like pick how your game presents itself via your decisions and in choosing kind of like the storytellers in a way. So you know, for that alone, I'm willing to give it another try to see like, let's see if this works. So, you know, I'm going to be picking grandmas and like 50-plus-year-old software technicians and like all the people that I would think would just be like regular dudes. And I'm going to see if it kind of like spins it on its head from this run.
Yeah. I'm curious because I failed the recruit mission that I did, which is interesting because I don't think that you can retry it. If you failed it, it just said failed. And so I think I like lost that person.
There's people everywhere.
Yeah. I guess the idea is you could just go grab someone else. But I also think when I restart, I might turn on permadeath. That might make me more interested in the characters that I'm playing because of the fact that they're, you know, if they die, they die. I think that's interesting. I also don't know what happens if like all of your characters die. Is the run over?
Lose the game. It actually says it right there. It says the game ends if you lose all of your characters and the game ends. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
I think that's cool. Like I have to admit though, like I got into a couple pretty hairy situations. It is very forgiving. Like you can kind of duck into an empty room and get behind a box in a corner, and the guys will pretty quickly forget about you.
Were you playing on hard?
I got pursued.
Yeah,
I got pursued a couple times, and like by police. Take a few back roads, and they're off you. It was not a situation where I felt like somebody that has like experience with these types of games, like I'd say we do. I don't think it's going to be that bad, especially with the forgiving gunplay. Yeah, there were also, to be blunt, there were a few times where the AI was a little questionable.
Yeah, I got the same thing too.
Yeah, like especially there was this one mission I did where I had to like go into this drug lord area, I think. And like, dude, I was just like walking around murdering everybody, like right next to their buddies. And it was not an issue. One of them would aggro me and I would just like sit behind a thing and pop out to, like 3 guys in a row. And then, you know, it was, yeah, I think the idea behind permadeath is that most people will take it, but then the game is kind of balanced around not being a miserable experience.
Yeah.
You know, even on hard. But we'll see. Yeah. But I didn't really have any issues at all with it.
Are you wearing an RTX jacket?
No, I just randomly picked like when I decided to pick the clothes that I felt fit this guy's personality. So I was picking just like ridiculous stuff and was just trying to maybe salvage something. It didn't work.
Gotcha. From a tech side of things, are you running DLSS here, or did you have it turned off?
Yeah, DLSS with full ray tracing. This was on my new. It's actually for my. I did a split sponsored thing with Origin and Nvidia, so I was using a new Origin machine with a 3080 in it.
Yeah,
and it ran. beautifully. Like I had no issues. The best part about the game was how it looked.
Do you know what profile of DLSS you chose in the options? Quality. Okay, that's what I was running to.
Everything was maxed for me.
Yeah. There's like,
what are the other options for that? If
quality.
Someone was doing a stream about it tomorrow, perhaps.
Yeah, no, there's 4 and it goes down from the top. So quality, balance, performance, and ultra performance.
Yep.
And ray tracing also has quality levels too. So you don't necessarily need like a top of the line card to use this stuff. You can use previous RTX models as well. #ad.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, just works.
Yeah, I find it interesting. This is outside of Watch Dogs, but I find it interesting that like this is the game where NVIDIA's marketing money is going for pushing like RTX and DLSS.
I mean, it looks good. I mean, it there's no question it looks good. Like just driving around, one thing that I kind of liked about it, there's puddles and stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
And like they're all, especially with the high ray tracing, they all reflected all over the place. I was constantly remarking about it. Like it actually looked good. Like they wouldn't have,
it does.
Believe it or not, they wouldn't have had to pay me to say that. It actually like looked good. Yeah. So a lot of the buildings are like full glass. You can drive by them in your car and like see the reflection of everything that is going on like in real time, which is it's kind of nice, you know, coming from like old school like Witcher 1 stuff back in the day. Like there's no question, it looks pretty nice.
I had a bunch of comments where like, do you think it looked like it was too reflective? Did you ever get the sense that like you would look at a puddle and be like, now wait a minute here, it wouldn't like fully reflect that room 1-to-1, no. or these windows, right? I mean, I guess that would reflect.
I think that this game, just like you said earlier, they want to show it off in this game.
True.
So I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was a little hyper realistic, specifically so they could be like, look how pretty it is. You know. I think there were definitely times when it was probably a little more than realistic, but still looked pretty.
Yeah, it looks very, and I think I dropped to maybe 50 in some scenarios on a 3080 as well, but it was generally like 60 to 70 in most of the things that I was doing with everything on high. I had a bunch of people in my chat, Barry, one of them, Elu as well, who live in London and like know this city. And they said like the reproduction of it was pretty good. That like it looked like London. It felt like they were in London. It felt like they had been there in a lot of places.
There's a lot of nuance in the world design, which was kind of nice. I was remarking on that too. There's like, you know, you can go down long stretches of road and there's like litter and, you know, a lot of like little personal touch kind of stuff all over the place. A lot of immersive factors. There's a lot of things in the game that kind of lends itself to immersion.
Yeah.
A lot of organic looking streets and buildings and things that it would look like in real life, not just structured, you know, hard edges everywhere. And yeah, it's really not that bad in that regard.
Yeah. I'll also note, I don't know if this is the case for you, but maybe you got drivers and I didn't, but we're not on like the NVIDIA optimized drivers for this. So whenever those do come out, it might bump up the FPS. I would assume that like the DLSS profiles that it uses probably will be updated in the next 24 hours or 48 hours. I don't know why this is the VOD.
That was the RTX quality replay there.
What the hell is that?
This looks like shit. I'm not getting it.
This is Twitch alternative VODs here. It looks like it just like downscaled for some reason to a different res. Let's force it. There we go. Now we're looking at 1080 60 fluid.
There you go.
Yeah, and like look at the floor here. Like that RTX is amazing looking. It looks fantastic in that room.
Oh wait. Hold on. I think this is the guy. Hold on. Heard you needed some help. What's up? You're the crew that's been sticking it to Albion. Can't believe someone else is. I thought I was alone, right? Not doing much, just putting the word out. You taking action, huh, mate? Yeah, I was getting pretty bold sitting around watching old sitcoms. Plus, you know, Go Democracy or whatever.
I can see your face.
Dude, I seriously was just like, what? Like this is the guy. I got bored sitting around watching sitcoms, so Go Democracy or whatever. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Until I saw this footage, I was actually going to tweet out Go Democracy with a link to vote.org.
There you go. Don't do it now.
And just make sure to add or whatever.
Yeah.
After. Or whatever. Go Democracy or whatever.
Vote.org. Yeah.
This was about the time that this guy just like I was on the fence about it, but that was a conversation that it just lost me. I was just like, oh man, oh, this is not for me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We saw a little bit of a close up there. I will say the hair thing, engine, whatever that they're using in the game, it probably is like the worst looking aspect of the game that I can see or that I saw. For whatever reason, the hair just looks a little bit weird throughout the game.
Also, the lip syncing. I'm pretty sure because they had so many different characters, they used some kind of AI algorithmic Mass Effect Andromeda style lip syncing thing. Because, like, whoops, there were times when it was just like, "Hey, listen,
You know,
I want you to
auto
listen.
drive, right?
I want you to listen real carefully. Okay, I'm gonna drive like American, like it should. I don't care about any of these like one-way streets and driving. No, I will drive. America comes with me where I go. You heard? That's how this works. So if I go to London, then everyone else is driving wrong, and I'm the one that's driving properly, like a true American.
I see. Okay, noted.
Okona.
Yeah. Side note: I almost got killed in Australia for that reason. Because I was like, nope, no cars coming. Jesus shit!
You're just looking the wrong way. It'll happen. I do have a concern. We've talked a lot about like the fact that you can, play as anyone or whatever is their big pitch. I hope that they flesh out the characters enough to where I actually care about them, and it's not just like super topical. Going through, I guess, like however long the 20+ hour experience or 15-hour plus experience. Because I think that would be like the inverse of Watch Dogs 2, where in Watch Dogs 2, I hated the character because of the character. And in this game, I'll hate the character because there is no character. It's just like, a one note style approach. But I can't really say because I only spent so little time with it. But I hope that's not the case. There are like main characters, I would say. The game
character.
Yeah. There, and there's like an AI that also curses, which is rather like he cursed a lot in the opening of the game.
Yeah,
he had a lot of character to him.
He's very personified. For
sure. Yeah. That was rather.
They want you to like him. They try hard to make you like him.
For sure. I haven't seen this like drone style gameplay yet.
It's one of the story missions.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. I control the spider.
That's pretty cool. Like flying the drone and stuff around was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it worked pretty well. I had no idea what I was doing, which is why I have this slew of things on me. This is a stealth mission, by the way, obviously.
Nice. Well done stealthing.
I've already screwed it up. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. If you hide in their code, they won't find you. Does this actually work?
They did. No, they stayed outside shooting at me through the walls is what they did. So yeah, my master plan unfortunately was not very masterful.
Nice.
Yeah, you can see him out there. He detected me the whole time. Now, cool enough, if you do evade them and like fly behind something on the outside area, they will eventually just like let you go and they'll just go back to their normal patrol. So there is like a hiding technique. Unfortunately, just in that building, it didn't work.
Sure. Makes sense. So yeah, I'm sure we'll have some more to say on this next week because we're gonna I think both of us will spend some more time with it over the next.
Last thing I'll say about it: microtransactions.
I didn't. So that was one thing. Chat kept asking, like, "Hey, can you go look at the microtransactions?" And in the ad moment, I was like, we'll take a look at those maybe tomorrow because I don't know if I want to do that right now and just turn everything negative.
I definitely looked at them, and chat erupted.
Oh, I'm sure.
Face bombs and stuff.
What do we have? What are the options? What
guy
can I buy levels? What do we have?
Oh, you actually buy like characters.
Oh, really?
Like you buy, yeah. It's there's an extensive little store in the game from what I saw. There's like you buy a bunch of skins and stuff, and they're super flashy, and that you can also. I didn't really follow this. You can buy a currency, and then with that, I think you buy in-game money. There was some conversion thing that I didn't quite understand because obviously I don't use any of that stuff. But yeah, there's stuff. So yeah, it's not gotcha. It's not random.
There's no boxes.
It's a store. It's a store.
Yeah.
But it looked to be pretty extensive, and yeah, it was. Yeah, so people were, of course, like I opened it and was looking at it for a little bit and just kind of like closed it with my eyes wide, right? And someone in chat was like, "Co's not going to talk about like the store," and I was like, "Everyone knows exactly how I feel about stores like this. I hate these.
Yeah.
Like this is not like, yeah, and I think I specifically said during the cast, I was like, I like to think when I pay $60 for a game, I'm getting the full experience. And when I see something like this, I immediately feel the opposite.
Sure. Do you know if you could?
That's just how it is.
Could you buy? What is it? Tech points? Is that the resource to like level up in the game?
I don't know. I wanted to say it was whatever the in-game currency was, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd have to look again.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it yet. I'll probably take a look at it today just to see what is in there. I know that like the gold edition of the game does have some different skins in it that are very ridiculous looking, that I think are just like generally available as MTX as well. But we'll take a look at that.
Yeah,
later
I
on stream.
walked out of doing like the first mission, and where I was told like you're the only one, you're the only person that can do this. You are the revival of DedSec, and then I immediately walk out the door, and there's like 3 people, and I was like, where did you guys? Like, who are you? And like one had like cat ears,
Sure.
and like and I was just sitting here like, what is going? And one of the guys had my crazy ridiculous jacket on.
Should have
And I was
beaten
just
them
like,
up.
twinsies. But yeah, apparently they're all side characters they give you. They just give you these characters if you have like an addition to the game. So you just like get them in your hideout. So yeah, that was the thing. I guess those are also part of the new stuff.
I didn't see that, or I saw that and I just skipped past it because I didn't know what they were. But that makes sense for sure. We'll take a look at that later when we jump back into it. But yeah, I think the review Metacritic is hovering around like 70 right now. So it makes sense why
it's not terrible.
Yeah, it makes sense why Ubi kind of pushed this out before the big craze in November, and is going to focus on Assassin's Creed for next gen stuff. But yeah, it's if you got a 3080 and you're looking for something kind of like push those cards and see what games utilize them, this seems like one that will do that for sure. But we can't really. We've only spent 2 hours with it, so apart from that, tough to weigh in. We'll probably have more to say. Yeah, chat points out if you have a 3080
next week to see like the second opinion. We'll see if it gets any better.
Well, I think we're both we both have the idea of picking only older characters. I don't know like how much you can build your team in the sense of the numbers. So I don't know if it's like 4 people or 8 people or 12 or whatever, but we'll just have to see. I also don't know if I'm going to play permadeath. I feel like that would be frustrating if I just walked into an area.
I'm gonna turn it on. See what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting if you like start to like a character and then he gets killed, and it's gonna be interesting. The unlocks do seem to go between characters, so that's good. If nothing else, you unlock like tech, and then you can just kind of like slot it in like equipment to different characters. So
yeah.
That's good. At least you won't lose like a lot of progress.
Yeah, for sure. Well, cool. That's Watch Dogs 2. We'll have more to say about it next week once we jump in and play a little bit more. Zeke, do you have anything else you can talk about that I can find VODs of? Because, man, we don't have shit to talk about because we don't have VODs to talk about. I've only been playing Destiny 2 and Watch Dogs. I just said Watch Dogs 2 again. Watch Dogs Legion. That's all I've been playing.
You said Destiny 2?
No, I said Destiny 2, but earlier I said Watch Dogs 2.
Oh, okay.
Oh, talk about like prevalent. When I went to get I got a motorcycle over the weekend.
Sure.
And the guy's like showing me how it works and everything. And he was like, yeah, the guy inside, and this is like an old guy, like 40 plus, like Southern dude, bald head, bike mechanic kind of guy.
Okay.
And he's sitting there and he's like, yeah, I heard you play video games. Like that's what your thing's, video games. I was like, oh man, this is going to be interesting. I was like, yeah, I'm a streamer. I play video games. And he goes, oh, that's cool. I probably got about 7,000 hours between 1 and 2. Destiny.
Oh wow, really?
I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, I'm in a guild called Dads of Destiny. You got to have a kid to be in it. And
awesome.
Turns out this guy is just awesome. Like he's just this, and he starts telling me about like there's people in the area that play together, and like he's been playing for years. Can't wait for the expansion coming out later this year. It turns out to be like super chill, cool guy. But I just thought that was kind of fun. It definitely made me think of like all the Destiny people that play, and like this is actually kind of a badass community that's formed around this game. Like,
yeah,
kind of
I know
special.
I know Phil
special.
plays a lot of Destiny as well. That's like one of his games he plays a lot of. So it's got a huge community still. I feel like Destiny is, and we don't have to talk about. We talked about it in depth, but they perfect example of where the Destiny community is. They released a new vidoc yesterday for their upcoming expansion in November, and the number one response that I saw to it.
Oh, guys, I'm 36 and I'm old. Calm down.
Yeah, the number one response I saw to it was just like, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me." So I'm not going to buy this because I feel like that community has just been. They've said so many things, and changed the plan for that game so many times that people are just like, I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait and see what happens. Because track record is a little rough.
Release date it, and just kind of see where it goes.
Yeah. It has been very active, though. There's a shit ton of people still playing that game. I was very surprised. But Zeke, what about you? Anything else? I know you're playing a lot of that Larry game, because I can't pronounce it. What else?
Yeah.
Anything else you've been rocking lately?
I finally finished Wasteland 3. Like,
oh, nice.
It's surprising how long a game takes when you only play it like 1 or 2 hours here and there. But I finally finished it up. It was great. I had a blast through all the way through. I played it on Supreme Jerk, and I would say the last 25% of the game was pretty easy even on Supreme Jerk, after getting all the stuff you want and kind of figuring out how to do shit. I will say the vehicle, if you get the vehicle in a fight, it's fucking over. It's dumb. It's like you just run over everybody and keep your repair guy behind him. That's it. I mean, you just run over everybody. You don't even have to shoot. I was skipping turns just to get back to the truck again. But I also stumbled upon a secret golden Scorpatron thing where you find it's a time capsule or whatever. I didn't even know it was in the game, and I stumbled upon it. I was like, "Holy shit, a gold Scorpatron! What the fuck is this?" Defeated it, searched the area, and then there was this note. It's like, "Congratulations, you found the gold Scorpatron and defeated it. You also found this thing. We're having a contest, so if you send in the screenshot of this to our email, we might draw your name and send you some Wasteland 3 swag." And I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." Nice. I was like, "I'm probably too late," and I was like, "Oh no, let's go until November 30th, so I'm good." That's great.
There you go.
That was cool. I mean, that was a cool little thing that I was completely unaware of.
Have they fixed loading in that game? They're still patching, I assume.
Boy, oh boy, did they ever!
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yes,
a lot better.
Yes,
whatever.
It is probably what took 3 minutes now takes 30 seconds.
Oh wow!
They really, really cut down on the fucking load times. And they called the patch "Save Scummer's Delight," which is perfect.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They actually tagged me in those patch notes.
Nice.
Well, they did. Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, if you were waiting to play it or waiting to go back, now I mean it's a good time now because the load times are drastically cut.
That's great.
I also I finished the game. It's pretty good. I didn't. I don't know if there's a perfect ending where everyone by the end likes you. I'm not sure if you can do that. I don't know. But I did all right. I'd say 70% of the people that I had with me were still on my side by the end of the game.
Yeah, that's cool. To go along with,
but I also oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, to go along with Wasteland 3, I was just scrolling through news to see if there's anything they missed. 2 hours ago, they announced that they had reached 1 million players on the game. So
nice.
That's awesome.
For which one?
For Wasteland 3.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Damn.
I wonder how much of that is Game Pass. You know,
probably a lot.
That's probably a pretty significant chunk, I would think.
That is awesome.
Which is cool to see that, that many. That's a lot of people, to be honest. A lot more than I would have expected, for sure. So, Zeke, I think were you going to say something else about Wasteland 3?
No, I was going to go on to the next game I haven't played.
Cool, let's do it.
Okay. It was a game I played on Indie Day, Indie Sunday, or one of the games I played for Indie Week. Was suggested to me by a friend and mod called Eichenfell.
I've heard about this.
Yeah, I played. I I played a little bit more of it after the stream was over, and I found myself liking it a lot. It's you remember how the second South Park game played? Like the battles were like a grid.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'd move up and they'd have like attacks that would go like in a straight line or in a like they'd have a square of effect or something like that. It's kind of like that. It's turn-based on a grid. I don't know if it's like JRPG style. I don't know if that would actually count like that, but it's sort of like that. One of the things that you have to do during a battle is you have to, like, it forces you kind of to pay attention because you do a spell and all of the spells have like a point of contact and you have to press a button like as close to that point of contact as you can to get the maximum effect out of it. So if I cast like a fireball, I'll throw the fireball down, and if I press the button at exactly the right moment when it hits the ground on the enemy, it'll pop up, it'll say great, and that means you've done the max damage. Or it'll say nice, which means you've done the second amount of damage. Or it'll say oops, which means you've done minimum, you've done terrible. So there's 3 like things. And also when the enemies are attacking you as well. So they'll throw a chair and you'll see it come down, and if you hit it exactly at the point of contact, it will do the least amount of damage, kind of a thing.
Nice.
So it keeps you like invested in the action of the combat. You can't just like put the controller down if it's not your turn, kind of thing. The music is immersive and good. I really enjoyed the music. The story is it's intriguing. It seems like it's going to be deceptive as far as how deep it's going to go. Like it starts with this girl who's looking for her sister at this school that's shut up its borders, this witch school that shut up its borders or its walls, excuse me. So you're looking for your sister and stuff. And it feels like as the game progresses, it's going to deal with deeper issues, but I'm not sure. It could stay surface because right now it's pretty surface level, kind of goofy, a little like talking about the relationships, like high school kid relationships between friends and family and crushes and that kind of shit. But it seems like it has the potential to get a little deeper.
Sure.
I'm not sure yet. But the gameplay is satisfying. The dialogue is good. The music is unintrusive, but fits the game very well. And I'm still playing it. I'm having fun. I've put about, goddamn, I'm playing it offline, so the hours are not, they lie. It says I've got 34 hours into it, but that's because I leave it on.
Yeah.
So I've left it on multiple times for overnight.
Have you played Earthbound before?
That's one of those games I missed.
I was going to say it looks exactly like Earthbound.
It looks a little Earthbound.
I've never played it.
Yeah. You might. Actually, Chad, does Earthbound hold up in 20? I don't know if it would. I don't know if you would enjoy it in 2020. I think most of the people would have rose-tinted glasses on it, but
a few months ago,
I like Chrono Trigger.
I forgot it.
You'd probably like it then, absolutely. If you can get one of those little Super Nintendo like USB things, the little tiny systems. They made one of the Nintendo Super Nintendo, and it's on that. I was playing it a few months ago, and it certainly is like it's still Earthbound, man. I mean, if you like old school RPGs, definitely there.
Yeah, might be worth checking out for sure.
Also, I played Remothered, Broken Porcelain.
Oh yeah, I remember you said you were gonna check that out. Was your experience similar to Co's and the absurdity of Remothered?
The terrible thing about this game is that the story is, it's a little convoluted. It's a little like, I don't think you needed that. I don't think you needed that many twists and turns, but it was not bad. The story was not bad. It was just a little bit much on like soap opera-y, like this person did this and then this happened and that happened. And it's like kind of difficult to follow. But in and of itself, the story was not bad. The controls were Yes, they were bad. They were.
You played the patch
laughable.
version.
I did. I can only imagine what you went through. Holy crap. It was definitely a jank fest. And I mean, after the first time that you like get spotted by the stalker, whoever the stalker is at that moment, after the first time you get spotted, you're like, holy shit, I'm backed into a corner. How do I get out of this? And you're like, oh, you just kind of jog around them? Well, all right. That certainly takes away the suspense of the game. Because you like, oh shit, I'm back to the corner. You're like, they're gonna grab me. And then you like jog by them, and then you turn around and you see them go, like long after you're gone. And you're like, oh.
My favorite is when they would get you completely trapped and they're gonna do something to you, and they would grab you and throw you behind them without doing any damage. And then you'd just be like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like no damage, no hits. They just be like, like throw behind you, and then you just run off.
Sure. That's how it works.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
One of my favorite aspects of the game was how some of the voice acting was pristine and good. And the other voice acting was like AirPods in a bathroom.
Did he alternate between the lisp and no lisp with you?
Oh, I didn't pay attention to that part. Like I wasn't looking for it, so I might not have seen. I didn't see it. But I did see like you're talking to an old lady. It's like, I'm talking to you from a professional microphone in a studio. And then the grandma was like, I'm talking to you. I sent this. Do you want an MP3 or do you want a .wav? Do you want a web?
Oh boy. Sounds like the Remothered. Sounds like a winner.
Yeah.
Sounds like
yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. Dude, think I picked up on the same thing. I was like, right when the game ended, I was like, man, I kind of hope one day this game gets remade by a studio that could actually like make just did you play the first Remothered game too, or did you just play Broken Porcelain?
I think I played a few hours of the first one.
But like I kind of hope one day a studio like gets Remothered 1 and 2 and like makes it into like one actually good game. Like there's a lot of good meat in there, and some of the voice acting was great. Like, but just there was just so much terrible in there too. Oh my lord. Hopefully one day.
Maybe so. Anything else, Zeke?
No, I played a little Far Cry yesterday, but that was just for funsies.
Yeah, I saw your. Does Far Cry hold? Did they patch that game to hold up? Still good? Still have fun?
It's fun. I mean, it's like for that game for me is like looking at asking about the table that you play D&D on. It's just a platform to like fuck around.
Platform for absurdity.
But it worked. Yeah. Exactly.
Oddly enough,
it works exactly the way I want it to. Like ragdoll effects, like the things that happen when you like fuck up the controls of like an airplane or a helicopter, and you're trying to shoot and you end up just like ejecting and falling all the way to your death.
Yeah,
like, that's the fun part of those games.
Oddly enough, before we deleted all the clips and VODs on the channel, that clip popped up, or a clip popped up from that game of, I guess you could like recruit AI to help you, or like a partner or something.
Yeah, you hire them. Yep.
Yeah, and I hired a guy with a rocket launcher, and they have no sense of spatial awareness. So like, the guy would go to shoot. They go, I got him, walk up right next to a tree, pull up his rocket launcher, fire the rocket launcher, shoot the tree, which is 2 feet in front of him, and just explode me and him and kill us both. And that's what I remember from that game, is that guy who just couldn't control a rocket launcher. He was also very broken, though, when he could actually hit things, because he had a rocket launcher. Sure. But, yeah. Let's go ahead and do some shout-outs after, because we got a little bit of time if you got some more stuff. We can do shout-outs, though, in this, so then we'll let Phil do shout-outs in the second part. Things. Okay. Yeah, you do yours, and we'll circle back to Zeke.
We just got an Anthem blog.
In 2020, what does it say?
It's basically talking about how they're remaking things. We want to Javelin gameplay and builds. We want to improve this too, so we're excited to hear what you think about the changes we are trialing around the concept of, in quotes, builds. All items are categorized to one of the 11 available equipment slots. Weapons are either primary or secondary, allowing distinctiveness in their role. Mods and artifact slots replace components, but like
hey, they're trying.
Yeah. But it's just kind of like really? You're gonna like make a feature like weapons are either primary or secondary. Like that's never been done before. Like, oh my lord. They're adding like skill trees and just they're yeah. Oh man. I don't know. Oh lord. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting.
Wait, what is
Oh well, they're sticking with it though.
They're
sticking with it. So if you scroll down, they have skill trees. I have no idea
what is this. Hold on, let me see if I can like get this image blown up. Is that the skill tree? I don't. What are we looking at there? I don't know what that is. That's just like a code stack or something.
No clue. Look, we're doing things. What do the boxes say? Can we blow it up?
No, like I went to grab the image itself, but I can't even like.
Oh wow, if you make the page bigger, it doesn't do anything to the image.
And you can't even like grab the image at higher res. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Open image in new tab. Oh, it's blurry. Whatever that is super blurry. It looks like some kind of massive decision tree thing. I don't know.
I don't know what that is. It
very low res.
Yeah. Couldn't tell you. This looks a lot like Destiny's UI right here.
Yeah. So that's there for anyone that wants to, all those people that are anxiously awaiting more Anthem information.
Yeah.
Jeez. It's there. And also, one other thing I wanted to talk about, just real quick, it's a game I actually played 3 days. Really enjoyed it. Solasta. Solasta Crown of the Magister. I ended up playing through the entire EA. Had actually like a really good time with it. It's a pretty cool take on 5e. It's doing some interesting things. Like it doesn't really compete with Baldur's Gate 3. Obviously, like it's a more indie based studio, and the voice acting and animations they're just not up like to the same quality as Baldur's Gate 3, to put it bluntly. But I had a really good time with it, and like I said, it's doing some really cool. It's just got like a lot of good ideas. Like you open the map and it shows you where all the chests are around you. And if you mouse over them, it says if they've been opened or not, and if they have, what's still in them. And it's like, that's super handy. Their map is like a 3D representation. You can click anywhere to zoom the camera to it, basic stuff, but it's like, man, I wish this was in Baldur's Gate 3. And oh yeah, and yeah, I'm sorry, not EA. I always say EA, it's early access. It's only like it's the very first part of the game. It's super rough. It's basically like an alpha / beta. The side quests aren't even in. Another really cool concept, which when I first learned about it, I was like, okay, this should be in every game. This is incredible. There's a guild in the main city called the Scavengers Guild. And you talk to them and they're like, yeah, so here's the deal. There's a bunch of camps all around the world, and you take over the camps and set them up for us. And then what we're going to do is we're going to follow you around. And anytime you essentially clear an area, we're going to go through, loot everything you didn't, and sell it for you. And if there's any like really good items, we'll let you have that. And then we'll just take like a little small fee. And I was just like, so you're saying I don't have to loot 17 great axes, 4 pieces of leather, 16 chainmails, and like have to organize my inventory? But like, this is awesome.
It's a smart way
oh
to
my
handle
god.
that.
Yeah. So it was cool. It was really cool, and I definitely had some fun with it.
Cool.
Very, very early access. Feels very early access. But there's a huge amount of potential in this game. Very straightforward and usable UI, which I really liked as well. And I got all the way I ended up playing all the way to like the screen that tells you finished early access, and had a great time the whole time.
Cool.
I was bummed when I got to it, for sure.
We'll keep an eye on it. I know that's another, I guess, just like Baldur's Gate, it's another 5th edition centric game. So I definitely have interest in seeing where that goes.
Oh, and funny enough, is chat say, yes, I am in the game, and I actually play the first scavenger.
Oh,
I'm
no wonder you like the guild so much.
I'm a grizzled old drunk guy that tells stories nobody believes. It's fantastic.
Fantastic. There you go. Zeke, I think you had some other stuff you wanted to mention real quick.
Nope.
Oh,
I was gonna just bring up the fact that I got tricked into putting a raccoon penis in my mouth for on stream.
all right.
Saw that. That was good.
You can check my Twitter for that if you want.
Okay. All right.
It was just an anecdote in case we needed to fill some time.
There you go. No, we're good. We're good.
And on that note, Phil Spector's here. No, I always call him Phil Spector because I think that's his Halloween name.
Yeah. I should have. Here's the thing with saying that.
That's the ultimate segue, right?
I should have never said that, Phil Spector. I said that as a joke, and now chat said it so much that I just say it wrongly. And so now I'm so I stared at the mirror last night. I was like, Spencer. Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer. So we'll see what happens.
Or, you could say Phil from Xbox and everyone would know who you're talking about.
It's true. It's true. He is like those he is a Beyonce.
Become like the face of it in many ways.
The gaming world. He's that one name dude. For sure. Let's do some shout outs though for the three of us here, and then we can try to use that for more question time when Phil does join us here in the next couple of minutes. We are going to take a break though after we do some shout outs and get our ad break in and get everything set up though. So Zeke, you want to do some shout outs for us?
You betcha. Yo, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ezekiel III. You can find me at or / Ezekiel_III on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. I will be doing Watch Dogs tomorrow at 10 a.m. If you want 10 a.m. Pacific time. If you want to check out my take on the 3080 sponsored by NVIDIA. And then Friday, I was not sure what I was going to do Friday, but I think it might be time to finally check out Baldur's Gate. I don't know. Nice. I think it's probably died down quite a bit on Twitch, so I can pick it up and maybe be one of only a few that are playing it. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe the whole day will be character creation. Who knows? But and then Saturday is going to be a very fun day. I'm going to be reading a new Iron Face story by my friend and cohort Sour Kool-Aid Show, and it's going to be a lot of fun. The Kickstarter for that actually hit 20K, so I'm really excited.
Awesome.
That's all I got.
Cool. What's going on in your neck of the woods?
Absolutely. As always, thank you to JP and Zeke, and a pre-thank you for the amazing interview from Mr. Phil Spencer today. Just phenomenal. Anyway, my name is Ko. Hi, it's good to see you. Tomorrow we're going to be starting Watch Dogs 3 from the beginning. I'm going to focus on the things I like. We're going to make Team Geriatric, and I'm hoping for a much better experience. So I hope you join me for that. We're going to be starting at 8 a.m. ET. Tonight we are playing Hades at 6:30. We beat EM4 Hell Mode Hades last night, and we'll be moving on to continue our push towards getting every quest done and achieving the epilogue in Hell Mode. We're also going to be drinking lots of beer, so I hope to see you there this evening at 6:30. And then as we move on to this weekend, we're going to be checking out the Visage patch, which is going to be implementing new storylines. We're also going to be checking out Little Hope, maybe with Barry, and doing all sorts of other fun stuff to wrap up in October, including more of The Witcher 3, which we just got to Heart of Stone, and we're on possibly one of the best quests in the game. So hope to see you there for it. Should be a lot of fun, as always. Thank you for watching, and see you in just a few minutes for the interview with Phil Smith.
Yeah. As for me, right now, the only thing on the docket is some Watch Dogs Legion. Not 2. Tried to download 1. I couldn't get it, but Legion, we do got access to that. We'll be playing that after the show today. And yeah, that's kind of where what we've got on the this calendar for now. Obviously, as we go into November, it's going to be a pretty crazy month. If you want to see just releases in general or what we've got coming up on the channel in terms of what we're going to play in the order that we're going to play it in, that's all over at itmeJP/Jpedia. So a lot of people are asking if this is pre-recorded with Phil. Nope, we're just taking a break early so that we can get him in here as quick as possible and get back to asking him questions, because we do only have an allotted time. And so we're going to try to maximize that time. Right now, though, we're going to take a break. We'll get Phil in here, and we'll come back as soon as we can for a fun little interview. Should be good. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be right back with more Drop Frames right after this. We'll see you guys then.